This has to be one of the saddest backstories in One Piece. Hello, One Piece enthusiasts, I'm the One Piece nerd, and today let's talk about One Piece chapter 1098. Well, we continue off with the flashback, of course, with Kuma. We're probably gonna end it within a couple of chapters, but as it seems, Ginny has been captured by a celestial dragon and now has been taken by his wife. Well, I didn't expect this. I thought we were gonna see a fight against the world government, but that obviously won't take place until later. But oh boy, shit gets so much worse. Before you move on, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. Now that you have, let's begin. So, Kuma, my guy's born a buccaneer, cursed by the world government because of his race, his parents dying, him becoming a slave, going to God Valley, somehow escaping with a very, 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 very unique devil fruit, finding friends, starting a life with a very close friend and later on the love of his life, and only to be taken by the world government again. What fate does Kuma have? Every step of the way he goes, from what we've seen thus far, his freedom is always taken away by the world government in one way, shape, or form. And from what happened at the end of the chapter, and from what we can expect in the future, I'd like to believe the same happened this time as well. Well, it's very fitting because I like what Joy Boy Theory said about the chapter, or specifically about Kuma, is that he wanted to liberate the people. He wanted to become Joy Boy to liberate everyone else, but he couldn't liberate himself, which basically means that Ginny wanted to get married to Kuma, and Kuma loved her. The reason he didn't was because of his race. He was considering his race, and that the world government would again hunt their children the same way it did to him. And he didn't want to live that life. He didn't want to give the child the same life he had. In a way that, in fact, does more harm than good, because you think you're trying to liberate other people, but at the end of the day, you're just foolish and you're just harming the other person. The reason the other person decided to be together with you for the rest of their life, despite you being that race. You really don't think that he never really thought that Ginny already knew what his race was about. She definitely knew why Kuma got captured, his race and whatnot, what history it had with the Celestial Dragons and the world government. Ginny wanted to be with Kuma despite of that, and well, Kuma didn't agree with it, and you know what happens at the end of the chapter. Ginny dies without having to say goodbye to Kuma, which is obviously fitting, for Kuma didn't decide to adhere to Ginny's request, and so you don't get to see her for one last time. However, you do get to greet something completely different. Again, the will living on through people, the same way Ace's will lived on with Luffy, Roger with Luffy as well. Of course, we have Dr. Herlock and Chopper. We could say Corazon Law. All of these examples say that when people die, their wills are carried by the people around them, the people that care about them. And in this case, for Ginny, it was Bonnie. Yeah, Bonnie and Kuma looks nothing alike. I should have figured that out. And of course, considering what Bonnie is, the size she is in, of course, that whatever size she is, considering her age, that's not normal as well. She grows up extremely fast. And I don't really know why this is happening. This could probably be a genetical factor of Ginny. I really doubt celestial dragons get to, have that sort of factor for aging. I like to believe Ginny was something special as well. But yeah, it wasn't Kuma, of course. And with that being said, I just want to bring up the whole Bonnie having the crystals in her face. So the thing about that is, yeah, it's a terminal illness, entirely possible Bonnie probably dies, but obviously we know we've passed that time, nothing actually happens. What does happen though is that Bonnie gets cured, but Bonnie does get cured with the cost. I'd like to believe that now that the Sorbet Kingdom at the current timeline, not at the current timeline, but as of this chapter, the Sorbet Kingdom is in trouble again. The Tyrant King is back. Kuma obviously will take over as the king. This time he has to because of what happened before, and he doesn't want the same fate to be happening again. With that being said, I think Kuma somehow gets access to Vegapunk. Vegapunk heals Bonnie, or, I don't really necessarily think. Of course, Vegapunk has something to do with it. I like to believe Kuma gets in touch with the world government. The world government tells Kuma that, yeah, we'll be able to help you, but you'll be allied with us, and you'll be forever a slave, just the way you want it to be. Of course, the same way Kuma, trying to help others, always shackles himself. It's the same thing he's gonna do now, trying to liberate Bonnie. So that's the story, and I like to believe that's where it's going. And this entire chapter is just basically showing how Kuma's just been through so much that he has to be liberated. He wanted to be Joy Boy. He was waiting for Joy Boy to liberate him. And I feel like at the end of the day, in Egghead, Kuma will show up. Bonnie will see Luffy. Luffy will defeat the world government and finally liberate them. But Kuma, being who he is, sacrificing himself for the freedom of others, which is not Joy Boy like, by the way. It's very different. I'd like to believe Kuma the same way he wanted to liberate Bonnie 5 years ago. He'd want to liberate himself again. I think it was 7 years ago, I don't remember. But yeah, whatever time it was, he tried to liberate Bonnie, failed, got involved with the world government, became their slave, and I feel like this time around there will be no second chances to redeem himself, to find freedom for himself as well as the people around him. But this time, Kuma will meet his end in Egghead Island, but Bonnie will survive. And the same way Bonnie carried on the will of Ginny, she is also going to carry on the will of Kuma. And with the Celestial Dragon, though, yeah, it is entirely likely to be believed that Bonnie caught the disease because it was a hybrid. This is a sort of like a downside of a crossbreeding between Celestial Dragon and a normal human, which is probably why Bonnie got caught with this. And it is likely to be believed that the Celestial Dragons do not have half-breed children that are living in Malaysia, or rather, they're inbred, and that is how the Celestial Dragons continue to live. And it's not that weird considering the whole alliance was born with 19 kingdoms and 19 different families. So yeah, I guess it's not that weird, but at the same time it is. With that being said, of course, I'd like to touch up on one more thing. Garling could probably be that, half-breed, considering, of course, it's been talked about before. I haven't really touched upon this beforehand, but we'll like to touch upon this now, is that Garling, the way he acted in God Valley when he was hunting for the slaves, is that he wanted to redeem or honor the title of his family, so as the rest of the Holy Knights. I like to believe that the Holy Knights in and of themselves are half-breeds that somehow lived in Marizua, and Shanks is probably one of them. I think Garling, being the kind of person he is, probably, got together with a normal person, a normal human. That's how Shanks was born. And now this is obviously weird because Shanks doesn't have the same thing Bonnie does. Could be the fact that Shanks was born special, or it's because that Shanks is a Figureland Garling was a half-breed. It's the reason why Shanks didn't get the same thing. That's just a mini theory from here. That's it for the video, guys. I'll be sure to get one more video out because I have a few more things to talk about. That's it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Have a great day. and peace.